पाञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णवृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। गुरु महाराज की जय। All glories to assembled devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. This is Sunil from India, welcoming all of you to the Vidman Japa session. I thank all of you for attending this session. Please forgive me for interrupting your ecstatic chanting. Now let us move to our next part of the session, Mr. Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat class. May I know who all have joined the call this morning?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Neetu from Baltimore.
Hare Krishna Nitu Mataji Dandat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call every single day. Please keep joining. Haribol.
Hare Krishna Prabhu Tanvat Pranam, Sadguru Shishra Prabhupada, Guru Maharajas and all the assembled Vaishnavas. This is Kirti Dasundari Dasi. Thank you Prabhu for all your services.
Hare Krishna Kirtira Sundari Mataji Dandat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you so much, Mataji, for a very beautiful recitation and all glories to your wonderful services.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranams all devotees. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Sumi from California.
Haribol. Hare Krishna Sumi Mataji Dandat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call every single day. Please keep joining. Haribol.
Hare Krishna Sunil Prabhu, Danvat Pranam to you and all Vaishnava. Srila Prabhupada Telugu Vijay, Vrunda from Atlanta, Panigidam.
Haribol. Thank you so much, Vinda Gopika Mataji, for joining every single day and for blessing all of us. Please keep joining. Haribol.
Hare Krishna Sunil Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. My humble obeisances to all the devotees on the call. This is Harita from Texas, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Harita Mataji Dandat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call every single day. You still have a minute. Anyone wants to introduce themselves? Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Nandatpanam, this is Sunil from India. Today's class will be given by His Grace Ramgiridhari Prabhu on Antya Khanda, chapter number 10, from the verses 58 to 68. Before handing call to the Prabhuji, I would like to read the Srila Prabhupada's quote for today, 26 May. The child is born. Immediately there is a milk in the breast of the mother. And 1 minute before, there is no milk. Just the child is born immediately. Who supplies the milk? He does not see that one Supreme is supplying all the necessities of the others. So, our duty is only to become Krishna consciousness. Other things will be supplied by Krishna. Haribol. This instruction was given by His Divine Grace in Honolulu, May 26, 1976. Haribol. Prabhuji hasn't joined yet. We'll be waiting for Prabhuji. Meantime, if anyone wants to introduce, please go ahead. Yeah, Prabhuji joined. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving your valuable time and enlightening us on Chaitanya Bhagavat, chapter number 10, verses from 58 to 68. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I'll hand over call to you. Haribol.
हरे कृष्णा शिल प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय ताय गौरव प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा। रीडिंग फ्रॉम श्री चैतन्य भागवता अंत्य कांटा 10th chapter, text from 58 through 68. The chapter titled The Glories of Sri Pundarika Vidyanidhi. एक दिन महाप्रभु आविष्ट हैया पडीला कुपेर माजे आषाढ़ काया. One day Mahaprabhu became completely absorbed in ecstasy, love, ecstatic love, and fell into a well. Dekiya dvaitadi sammoha paiya krandana karena sabe shire hata diya. Seeing this, Advaita Acharya and the other devotees became bewildered and they began crying as they held their heads in their hands. Kichuna janena prabhu prema bhakti rase bhalakera prayayena kupe paribhashe. The Lord was enjoying ecstatic love, so he did not understand what happened. He simply floated in that well like a child. Seikshane kupahaila navanita mayam prabhu rashi ange kichukshata nahi hayam. When the Lord fell, the well became like a butter, so his body was not scratched. Ekon adbhuta yandra bhaktira prabhave Vaishnava nachite ange kantaka na lage. This was not very wonderful. By the influence of devotional service, a Vaishnava also does not feel the pain of a thorn he steps on while dancing. Tabe advaitadi mili sarva bhakta ganem tulilena prabhure dhariya katakshane. Advaita Prabhu and the other devotees then quickly pulled the Lord out of the well. Padila kupete Prabhu taha nahi jane ki bala ki kata Prabhu jigyase apane. The Lord did not understand that he had fallen in the well. He therefore asked the devotees, "What is going on? Why are you crying?" Bahyana janena Prabhu prema bhakti rase asarvajna praya Prabhu sabhare jignase. The Lord was relishing the mellows of ecstatic love and was unaware of the external events. He inquired from others as if he did not know what had happened. Commentary by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Lord Gaura Sundaram was so absorbed in the mellows of ecstatic devotional service that no memory of the external world obstructed his cultivation of Krishna consciousness. Moreover, after regaining his external consciousness, he would sometimes act as if he did not understand anything. In this way, he would cover his omniscience and his position as the Supreme Lord. Shrimukera Suni Ati Amrita Vachanam Anande Bhashena Advaitadi Bhaktaganam. Hearing the nectarian words from the mouth of the Lord, the devotees headed by Advaita Prabhu floated in ecstasy. Yei mate bhakti rase Ishvara vihare vidya nidhi ailena janina antare. As the Lord was enjoying the mellows of devotional service in this way, he understood that Pundarika Vidyanidhi had arrived. Chitte matra karite Ishvara se kshane vidyanidhi asiya dilena darashane. As soon as the Lord remembered him, Pundarika Vidyanidhi came there to meet him. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yenam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Our Krishna consciousness movement is so wonderful that we get to hear the wide range of spectrum of topics, right from the most basic education for one's spiritual understanding and all the way to the transcendental subject matter which are beyond materialistic perspective. And another interesting aspect of it is that we roam around or we communicate, we congregate amongst such exalted devotees who are regularly in conversation with Krishna, but we couldn't recognize them. And the third surprising and wonderful thing is, those transcendental devotees easily recognize us and give us directions and give us, services and put us in some place. We don't value them. And the last surprising thing is that in spite of all our arrogance in not following, in not accepting the directions, they never stop trying on us. With this background, I would like to deal today's subject matter, which is nothing less than ecstasy, but with a non-ecstatic consciousness to explain the ecstatic subject matter with the hope that one day we will be able to also enjoy this ecstasy by the blessings of Guru and Vaishnavas. I am just dealing this subject matter. The very first point of our reflection today is about what contributes our being in ecstatic moments. Or you can otherwise ask, when we can experience ecstasy in Krishna consciousness, even if it is sporadic. When? What are all those ingredients by which we will be able to enjoy the ecstasy? Just to make us feel this statement, let's just imagine for a moment the 11 shlokas that I read today. If Advaita Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, or somebody of that stature is asked to read, how they would have read, how they would have enjoyed, how they would have plunged. Here, Mahaprabhu's jumping in the well and coming out has become a celebration and a festival. So much so that the entire surroundings, including the well, is participating in the Leela. The well, which is otherwise not so interesting place to play, especially jumping inside the well unconsciously. If you're just jumping because you want to play there, it's different. But you unconsciously fall inside, you'll scream out of fear. You'll cry. But Mahaprabhu is in absolute trance that the well feels like a makan, like a butter. Soft effect. And when knowing Mahaprabhu is enjoying, Advaita Acharya and all the associates, they are celebrating, they are ecstatic. These subject matters will not even be, people will not even able to scratch the surface of the subject matter if they don't understand who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, what is Krishna Prema, and how Krishna is coming down as a devotee to distribute Krishna Prema for the fallen souls. Because we have some theoretical understanding of that, we are able to even talk on the subject matter. Otherwise, what will we talk on this particular 10, 11 shlokas? So my first reflection is, let's look at those ingredients without which experiencing ecstasy is impossible. I am sure all the scholars out there in our forum, scholars in ISKCON and predecessor acharyas have dealt this subject matter in extensive details. But I'm going to analyze this from a very novice and a layman language. So my study is not comprehensive, but indicative. So I'm going to say 4 qualities because of which somebody will get not only ecstasy, but will get the destination that which great acharyas have got. Number 1, which is the topmost, is called simplicity. Simplicity is a fundamental definition of Vaishnavism. Simplicity means childlike heart. That one word, simplicity, encapsulates several qualities. Simplicity means non-duplicitous. Simplicity means non-diplomatic. Simplicity means non-hypocritical. Simplicity means not being judgmental. Which means simple. We are not opinionated at all about others. In general, unless you have been given a service, you are just seeing everyone as Krishna's Parshadas, Krishna's Anga, Krishna's expansion, Krishna's parts and parcel. And no animosity, no jealous, no anger, no enviousness. It's just simply, we just dwell on doing our fundamental devotional duty, which is to perform service for Krishna. So simplicity is the first quality which is very difficult to inculcate and which is very difficult to even define in our current context. And people like me doesn't know how it looks like, but I can speak about it. The reason is, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, Krishna consciousness is simple for simple-minded, but is complicated for those who are crooked. So, for us to enjoy simplicity, we need to be bereft of all the qualities that I listed. And the interesting part is, sometimes for us to apply simplicity, all we need to do is just eliminate ourselves from some unwanted sangha and associate ourselves with some elite, devotionally elite sangha. We ourselves will not know how we became so simple. So anyway, simplicity is the first quality, and simplicity is Vaishnavism, is the definition that His Holiness Gauragovinda Swami Maharaj always gives. Childlike. Second, in our devotional, for us to get devotional ecstasy, for us to get devotional enjoyment or the transcendence, feeling of transcendence, how much we are able to be respectful towards everything that that is made available to us. Respectful here refers to seeing everything in connection with Krishna. Respectful meaning with the right understanding that all that I access belongs to Krishna, all that I have, they are for Krishna. So this respect, the culture of respect, the culture of humility imbued respect will provide us ecstasy. Srila Prabhupada writes in Nectar of Instruction, according to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura, one who does not chant 64 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day is called Patita. By that definition, we are all absolutely fallen Patita. But because of our non-duplicitous nature and our sincerity, our devotion will also be accepted. So basically, the agenda is how much I am respectful towards this spiritual process. Similar to the previous simplicity, here also we can say respectful can be defined in various stages and various form and shape. But sum and substance is that how I do not expect anything in return and how I offer my respects to others. Amanina manadena. For us to enjoy the ecstasy. Because when I respect something, and when I respect them in the context of Krishna or Guru, then naturally I am emotionally involved And when I am emotionally involved, I can enjoy ecstasy. Ecstasy in the form of feeling of separation and pain, ecstasy in the form of union with the Lord and celebration. So, simplicity, respect. The third ingredient which will induce ecstasy, which will help us in enjoying our Krishna consciousness, is about a non-envious nature, meaning a tendency to be appreciative and not holding anything against anyone. This non-envious nature is very important. In Bali Maharaj's episode, there is a very interesting place that is coming in. This is 8th canto, 22nd chapter, text number 23. The scenario was Bali Maharaj was tied with a rope. Even after him giving everything that he had to the Lord. So Brahma is coming down. And Brahma is asking, what is this? This guy has given his everything, including himself. And he is making a very profound point. He's saying that this person has performed his service without a tinge of mental duplicity. That's the exact word Brahma is using. Without the tinge of mental duplicity, he has performed his duties, service, so he should be relieved. So aviklavamanaha. Aviklavamanaha means without mental duplicity. This Bali Maharaj, without duplicity, has now offered everything in the three worlds. So, these are all, brothers, sisters of enviousness. Duryodhana was fully aware about dharmic principles. He also went to Gurukula. He also went and studied. But because of him having a vested agenda, because of him having the propensity to snub everyone off and want to boss over, he couldn't be non-duplicitous. He couldn't be non-envious. Every agenda of him, whether it was a smile or a welcome, everything had enviousness imbued. Because of which he was always restless and always uncomfortable. He could never celebrate. Those who are envious, they neither remain happy nor can tolerate others' happiness. So the third quality which will restrict ourselves in being an ecstatic student, ecstatic follower is our propensity to be envious. And this enviousness sometimes are so subtle. Only when you go very deeper in your heart, you will realize. In a sense that when your near and dear ones are advancing, progressing in Krishna consciousness, what kind of feeling that you get within tells where you stand in your ecstasy, in your envious quotient. If you're getting elated, happy, then good work. If not, it's a matter of concern. So, that which stops us from being ecstatic in the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sankirtan mission And last but not least, from today's reflections standpoint, it is very important for us that one who is non-grateful can't be ecstatic. Okay, so the idea is that non-grateful, why? Because all that I possess in my Krishna consciousness is to be attributed to my predecessors. All nonsense that I have today, I am supposed to take charge of it. So how much I am grateful towards my predecessors, how much I am, responsible for my conduct. There are personalities who behave exactly opposite. Every problem, every challenge, they look for somebody else. Because of him, because of her. Otherwise, I would have done something great. They instantly, their head will spin around whom to blame. Rather, be grateful. Whatever I am blessed with, oh Krishna, thank you so much. So this non-grateful mentality, the reason I am using two positive and two negative is, we could have made everything negative or everything positive, but I just want to kind of put in a combination that holds us back in enjoying, celebrating, jumping. That is why when we are welcomed in the temple in Kirtan, we are asked to jump in the Kirtan, dance in the Kirtan. And people who has got any one of those baggages or all those baggages will not be able to jump. Or when they jump in the Harinam Sankirtan, they will shed these quotients. They themselves will not realize they will shed it, but they will shed it. So my first reflection is about the ecstasy that is being spoken about here can come to us. We will be able to get them because it is available in our Sankirtan mission. Because Caitanya Mahaprabhu is home delivering them. Are you going to accept that courier or are you going to let it go? The call is ours. Simplicity, respectful, non-envious, and being grateful. Somebody who is not grateful will not be able to enjoy this ecstasy. So we have to be grateful enough for us to enjoy this ecstasy. Our gratitude, how much we are attributing, will define our ecstasy quotient. Kevala Ananda Khanda is not just in words. Kevala Ananda Khanda is not just sporadic. Sometimes we will see Vaishnavas, they will be alone, but they will be ecstatic moment. They will be enjoying their moments. Just imagine Srila Prabhupada's journey from 1922 to 1966, and then the remaining 11 years from 66 to 77. Do you think if he did not have ecstasy, he would have pulled on for 55 years? And this doesn't mean that he is not facing any challenges. There are a zillion challenges that came his way. But he was ecstatic. He was enjoying. He was participating. He was seeing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan mission unveiled. I'll tell a very interesting story. One time, Srila Prabhupada was sitting in a very relaxed mode. He had two bolsters by his side, and usually there used to be having sometimes devotees perform some short skits to Prabhupada. And that day, they had decided to perform Kali and Harinama Sankirtana. That's a kind of a theme. One devotee who dressed himself in black dress and dressed himself top to bottom fully black as Kali, and he was trying to go and attack Dharma and trying to behave unruly. So in the drama, there was a team of devotees who were performing Harinama Sankirtan. So that Harinam Sankirtan party was coming from distance. The voice was very faltered, very feeble, but they came closer, 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 closer. So the drama theme was set up in such a manner that as the Harinam Sankirtan came closer and closer, this Kali, or the person who was playing the role of Kali, he was feeling suffocated and he couldn't hold himself. He was dying. As the roaring sound of Hare Krishna Mahamantra increased, he was feeling suffocated, dying, and becoming unconscious, and eventually, Harinam took over and Kali died. So what Prabhupada was doing, so Srila Prabhupada was watching this drama, and he with both his hands, he started beating the bolsters like this, and said, do it more, do it more, do it more, do it more. So it's a very simple act of a drama. But because he saw how the Sankirtan wave, how the Sankirtan mission is coming to take over the evil effects of Kali, got so ecstatic. It's a very simple act. For us to get ecstasy, we really need to do, either go materialistically, people go high to get ecstatic, or otherwise we need some, apparently successful winning moment, $1 million lottery would have, got for us. I don't know what makes us ecstatic. But in Krishna consciousness, to get ecstatic is very simple. Very simple. But sometimes it is apparently looking complicated because of us. So this is my first reflection that I want to say. Second reflection that I want to share here is about the reflection about qualification versus benefits. The idea is, by and large, people come to spirituality knowing the benefits, dwelling on the benefits, about my claim of rights. I'm not defining it as right or wrong. Because we are a student of Caitanya Bhagavata, assuming that we all have been hearing Chaitanya Charitamrita and come to the level of Chaitanya Bhagavata, it is imperative that we start to dwell on qualification over benefits. Every practicing devotee should constantly strive to develop the necessary qualification for being an useful servant in the service of Guru and Gauranga. But what we dwell on, what all benefits? Life membership benefits, congregation devotee benefits, book distribution benefits. It's okay. It's okay. But the real ecstasy is, I see my spiritual master win, I see Krishna win, and I don't damn need anything in return. The purest form of ecstasy is that I just want my beloved win. Period. Nothing else to be given, nothing in return I need. Because in that, ecstasy is in place. That's what happened for those who are confidential associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is why these great personalities, the moment they take the words of such great personalities, their voice gets choked up and they are not able to speak. Radha Govind Maharaj, he was going to give a class after a long time in Vrindavan. He just came and sat on the Vyasasan and started saying at least 1 or 2 words. And he said, I cannot speak anymore, I'm going back. His voice got choked up. He says, I wouldn't be able to speak. What does that mean? It means that ecstasy overpowers everything. They are so much in ecstasy just by the very remembrance of the name. Krishna, Rama, Balarama, Radha Madhava, Panchatattva, just by uttering the names, they are overwhelmed with ecstasy. Gadadhara Pandit, just by knowing the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he wanted to come and learn Srimad Bhagavatam from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sorry, not Gadadhara Pandit, our Srinivasacharya. It's a wonderful story how he kept searching everywhere, and all those people who were associated with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they were kept, leaving this planet. His ecstasy in separation was also not something easy to consider. It's very special. Gadadhara Pandit, when reading Srimad Bhagavatam, in feeling of separation from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just out of tears, because of him weeping, the manuscript of Bhagavatam got erased. Because there were 2 copies then. So Srinivas Acharya had to go and try to get from some other place, because the copy of Gadadhar Pandit got erased because of Gadadhar Pandit's, tears. एक बार देख ले चक्षे जाल, एक बार देख ले चक्षे जाल, गौर बोले निताई देन सकल संभाल. एक बार देख ले चक्षे जाल. We have also cried to Krishna several times, but not because of the reason that is being spoken about here. Because of desperation, because of fear, because of failure, because of disappointments, because of pain from this material world. So my second reflection is about how much we are ready to dwell on our qualification. Because dwelling on the benefits and rewards that we should be getting for doing devotional activities is not Brahminical, is not highest form of devotion. That is why as you go closer and closer and closer to Krishna, they will not be satisfied with anything else. Yesterday, Sunday, we were giving a Bhagavatam class in the temple here in Madurai. So, we were discussing about this point about asking from Krishna vis-a-vis asking for Krishna. We are people who ask from Krishna. But these are all the people about whom we just studied. They ask for Krishna. Krishna, we want you. Person like me, Krishna, we want yours. That is why one is called Duryodhana mentality, another is called Arjuna's mentality. Duryodhana wanted Krishna Sena. Arjuna wanted Krishna. So intelligent people know that I am better ready to suffer, but I will be with Krishna, rather than being successful, victorious, and not being with Krishna. So my point is that it is important, even though any form of devotion to the Lord is better than dwelling on sense gratification, one should strive to elevate one's consciousness to serve the Lord in the right frame of mind. This is something that we should learn. Such pastimes or the pastimes after this, Pundarika Vidyanidhi's, connection with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Pundarika Vidyanidha's connection with Gadadhara Pandit. It's a very interesting one. In fact, the moment I hear the name Pundarika Vidyanidhi, I immediately remember one instruction that don't be judgmental. Because Gadadhara Pandit was judgmental. Oh, this guy is sitting on a big singhasan, enjoying all sorts of, luxury. One verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. He fell on the floor, started rolling, and Ashtasatvika Bhava is manifested. Who will understand? Nobody will understand. Why he is crying? Why he is rolling on the floor? People think he's pagal, just a madman. Because benefits and rewards are awarded by the Lord and Vaishnavas much more than what we could comprehend. So let us not be cheapish enough in running after benefits. Let us just run after opportunities to serve, run after inculcating the qualification that is necessary for us to get attracted by the Lord. Let the Lord turn his face towards us and see, wah, chalo, kuch to kiya. Something has done. So hence my second reflection is about the aspect of qualification versus benefits. 9 out of 10 instances, I'm not generalizing. Generally, people are matlabis, which means we want something in return. But the essence and ecstasy is in not expecting anything in return. Because Krishna, everything belongs to you. It is your prerogative. What you give and what you won't give. And whatever may be the case, I am your servant. Aslishyava padaratam pinashtumam adarshanath marma hatam karotva. That is why all the gopis are singing Pati Sutanvayat Bratur Bandava Ativilankyate Achyutagata. We have left everything for you, boy. Everything. Because we want you at any cost. So this is my second reflection. The first reflection is about the 4 qualities without which we won't get ecstasy. And second is with respect to the qualification versus benefits that we need to work on for us to enjoy, for us to make sure that in our Krishna consciousness journey we will have to focus towards acquiring the necessary qualification and simply focus on the services. So that is why the last reflection is about the mood of a sadhaka in Sankirtan mission. So this is my learnings in whatever number of years of my being in ISKCON, that repeatedly I'm only praying and thinking about this aspect of it is somehow I am allowed to be in the service of Guru and Gauranga. That's it. In spite of me, if I am allowed to serve, no audience required, no mercy required, you don't like nothing. I mean, I'm just saying, at least theoretically, if we are able to get service opportunity, no need to flaunt anyone, no need to dwell on that, no need to expect in returns, no need to be grudging, you just need consistent, regular service that will not be snatched away from you. And simply performing service to your beloved's satisfaction. Here, beloveds refer to your seniors, their spiritual master and the Supreme Lord. For their satisfaction, I am able to perform service. I am sure, at least that's what Shastra says, that I will also be able to enjoy ecstasy at some point in time. Today, those services, for getting them, I'm in the queue. Those who have got it, they will definitely, get there to the ecstasy zone. But the message is that all the great glorious Vaishnavas of this, Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, they got ecstasy only when they did service. Only when they were part of the missionary journey, that too without strings attached, without anything that they expect in return. The moment you expect anything in return, I guess we have to cover a lot more grounds. My dear Lord, I don't want anything in return. Nor I want to be in limelight. All I want is just keep me engaged in your service so that the purpose of this human form of life is fulfilled and we eventually get to be part of your team. On the side of your team, not on the opposite side of the team. Because right now we are the team of Maya, toitering, seeing all of these things, thinking around. But when I come to your team, join your side of it, and then there is a lot more fun. That's what he's explaining here, that the well where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu jumped gave the butter effect is not so wonderful. What is all the more wonderful is these Vaishnavas, when they jump and dance, even thorns prick their feet, doesn't give them pain, Baba. So look at Vrindavan Das Thakura's description. The ecstasy is superlative, so much so that these chote-mote pain are never giving them pain. Itihas gawah hai. So many people have witnessed this. We can't imitate though, but at least we can understand the flavor of ecstasy. The flavor of ecstasy. How much the spiritual subject matter will be sweeter and ecstatic, that people are absolutely unbothered about materialistic pain. Whenever I have a meeting with my spiritual master, Jayapataka Maharaj, I experience this. Because his physical situation and his devotional consciousness are two different paradigms. I mean, I don't want to go into a Vyasa Puja kind of homages here because I have lots of experiences that way. But it's not only my Guru Maharaj. I've seen few great personalities and so much of descriptions of great personalities in the Acharya, in the Vaishnava tradition. Bilvamangala Thakura, after he reached Vrindavan Dham, in Vrindavan Dham he got so much guilty about his past. He was almost, in proper situation in devotional life, just that some traces of, distractions. So he poked his eyes, Baba. He poked. Just imagine how difficult it will be. The Vasudev, the devotee who had leprosy disease, his whole body was, with full of pus because of Kushtaroga. And there were worms eating them. And he's having the itching feeling, he's thinking. Nobody would go closer to him. but he would put down one of the worms which would have fallen off his body. He will pick it up and put it back. He can't imitate. Sometimes we can't even speak about the subject matter because people think this is just like some made-up story. But Chaitanya Charitamrita describes this. Nashta kushtam, rupa pushtam, bhakti tushtam chakraya. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw that Vasudeva, what happened? Nashta kushtam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him a tight hug. And what happened? Nashta kushtam, rupa pushtam. This Vasudeva, who was stinking, nobody would go closer to him. He started glowing. Bhakti tushtam, pure devotional service got installed in his heart. What kind of ecstasy he will be enjoying? To put a worm that is biting you, to put it back, is it something humanly comprehensible? Why he is doing it? Because he is not getting bothered by the external circumstances, and that is possible only when we have transcendental connect to your devotional service. You are so much engrossed in your service. That is why in Janmashtami days, in our fasting days, in our special days, when we are observing fastings, and that too when we are performing some services, we don't feel fatigue. But in those fasting days, if you don't do anything, you can't fast more than half a day. You'll think of all the possible eatable items under the roof, and you will want to go and munch them. So the third and last reflection is that in our devotional journey, each and every one of us need to have such a arrangement that we have fixed, accountable, enjoyable devotional service that we do on a daily basis, for which I have no expectations in return. No expectations. Why? Because even if there is nothing to be provided, this is exactly what I'm supposed to do. That is education. I'm not sure if we can raise ourselves up overnight, but the point is that's our constitutional nature. Aslishyava padaratam pinastumam adarshanat marmahatam karotuva yata tatava vidatatu lampato matprananatastu saeva naparaha. So, my dear Lord, whether you appear in front of me, do not appear. Whether you break our heart, you are still our worshipable Lord. Period. So that is the standard. That is the benchmark. So how much are we close to that? We have to evaluate. We have to check. But the beginning part is we all should have service. So please ask questions. Do I have a service in the Sankirtan mission? For which do I have a senior to look up to who will empower me for service? Am I in a state of consciousness where I can be held accountable? Can my spiritual master shout at me and I still remain respectful because it is in my benefit such a service is given? So many relationships got spoiled because we are, we have lots of ego baggage when we are doing our service. We have always been HMDs, as I always say, high maintenance devotees. Unless we become LMDs, low maintenance devotees, we can't get ecstasy. What is high maintenance devotees? Prabhu, provided you send me a car, provided you make sure that you give me prasadam exactly at 12 o'clock, according to my specification, provided this, provided that, provided this, provided that, then I will do my service. Sure, from the organizer's perspective, they need to think. But from the servant's perspective, our mood is, I'm just a servant. I'll just go and serve and come. our acharyas have served in further worse conditions. They have been around when no facilities were there. Narottam Das Thakur went for doing book distribution when there was no printing press. People wrote handwritten copies. The kind of service, people have done with AI, BI, we are all, much, we could do much wider services with all these things. So that's the expectation. And when we do that, we get ecstasy. And you all can experience them, we all can experience them now. If you don't believe, just take up some service and do it unconditionally, you'll enjoy the ecstasy. You'll feel satisfaction. You'll get the warmth of Krishna's love. So that's the sum and substance of what I wanted to share in this current context. So we have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu keep on constantly exhibiting some transcendental behavior and bringing in ecstasy to himself as well as to his fellow associates. So it is better that we try to prepare ourselves because I'm sure if we are going to continue in this process, ecstasy will come our way. I'll stop this, but before that, I'll share a small episode. It's a very personal episode that happened with Jayapataka Maharaj and his servants, because it is in the context of how Vaishnava relationships work and ecstasy is imbued in that. This so happened that one day some of the servants of Jayapataka Maharaj asked Maharaj that, how come you are simply just emitting so much of joy and ecstasy and keeping everyone cheered up. So he made a very profound statement. He said that all these servants around me, they are serving me to make sure that I am comfortable and I'm happy. And if they see 1% of me in pain, all their faces, they, become a little sad. So I wanted to make sure that I always cheer them up and remain lighter and joyful so that they feel happy. The underlying message is, in spite of me having my bodily pain, in spite of me having my own challenges, I will cheer others up because they are trying to look after me. This is called the love of a mother. So this is how Vaishnavism works. A Vaishnava ready to take up pain for himself, but provide pleasure for everyone. So we are into a very interesting family of spirituality. So don't undermine this process, comparing them with anything, but for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sankirtan mission, you can't compare. The comparison is only with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. There is nothing else that is to be compared to this. That will be really like a, comparing sun and torchlight. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sankirtan mission can give us that transcendental ecstasy which is available in spiritual world, Krishna Prema. So may we all surrender ourselves to this process, get ourselves qualified, make sure we acquire a service under the authority of our spiritual master and get a transcendental ecstasy always. Param Vijayate, Sri Krishna Sankirtanam ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you all so much. If there are any questions or comments, I'll be happy to respond.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandat Pranam. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for so beautiful class as always. You have shared so many wonderful insights, Prabhu, and especially the story of His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj was so inspiring. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have just small question. You have said, no, Prabhu, like the services we should do, that should be selfless. No agenda, hidden motive. But Prabhu, there is some expectation, Prabhu. Okay, I did this service. At least, if I'm not getting anything else, at least devotees should appreciate me, should glorify me. How do we remove that expectation, Prabhu?
That's okay. I mean, at least you are doing service to begin with. But at some point in time, we should shed that baggage as well. And when you are able to see your fellow devotees able to, remain more happy by, one time, this was in Montreal. So, what happened is every day Prabhupada used to give a class, and Jayapataka Maharaj used to be part of the class every day. So, and it has to be in a routine that in every class of Srila Prabhupada, Jayapataka Maharaj asked a question. Then there was a situation that devotees have to take up odd jobs to support ISKCON. So, situation so happened that Jayapataka Maharaj started to miss attending the classes. But then what happened is they used to do this Walkman recording of Srila Prabhupada's lectures. So today's Prabhupada's lectures, Walkman recording, the tape recorder cassette, Jayapataka Maharaj used to take it for the next day, wherever he is going out to do some odd jobs for Prabhupada, used to carry that cassette and play. So what happened was, when Jayapataka Maharaj was missing the Bhagavatam class, nobody would ask questions. But then, when Jayapataka Maharaj heard the lecture, Prabhupada is saying, where is that Bhakta Jai? He asked very good questions. So, when a disciple get to hear, because spiritual master tend to appreciate disciples behind their back, not in front of them, knowing that that is what they would need. So, I mean, this is not to mean that we'll make somebody else record and we will hear it later. That's not the agenda. The point is, it is imperative. One of the points that I was going to say, but I didn't, touch there, that it is to be noted, our services, the smallest amount of services will not go unnoticed. That is Krishna's design. Maybe our mistakes will be unnoticed. Maybe some of our problems will be overlooked. But Krishna's design is such that it doesn't go unnoticed. If you prematurely expect some appreciation, maybe you will get it. But if you don't ask for appreciation, who knows? You may get next higher level of service. Who knows? You may get next higher level of opportunity to go closer to Guru and Gauranga. So that is why dhairya. Why dhairya in 6 favorable devotional service? Utsaha, nischaya, dhairya. Dhairya means patience. This process is so sublime. So sublime. Just stay put. It is impossible for Krishna not to appreciate you. It is impossible. If you just ask for appreciation, we may land up in doing something cheapish. So, if you stay put, your appreciation will come in the form of more service. Your appreciation will come in the form of more recognition. Appreciation will come in the form of more responsibilities. And who knows, Krishna will just catch hold of you and give you a tight hug soon. So our realization is that, yes, initially we seek for some appreciation and an acknowledgement. That is why it is said that from an organizer, from a senior, from a community member perspective, I should always be ready to appreciate everyone and not expect one for me. So if everybody inculcates this habit, you definitely get your due quota of appreciation. The challenge of the appreciation is also that sometimes we start dwelling on them. Sometimes say, Ramgiridhari Prabhu, you are very nice. I start dwelling on them as if that's what I am. Maybe I'm not that. From your perspective, from your kind-hearted nature, you might say some good words about me. But what if I dwell on them, not realizing that those good words doesn't belong to me, that belongs to my spiritual authorities. So it is very important that when we seek appreciation, we also be prepared for its consequences. And knowing that if any simple service, single service, any type of service done to Krishna does not go unnoticed, so you will definitely be appreciated, but not necessarily in the form and shape that you seek, but you will. Am I making sense?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Just to confirm, if I'm not asking devotees to appreciate me, but the expectation, the desire is there, still what you said would happen,
It'll
Prabhu.
it'll go away. So focus on service and service and service. The expectations will go away. The reason being that when you are with, that is why I'm saying we should always associate with those who are broad-minded rather than those who are narrow-minded. So choose your company wisely, Prabhu. Especially as you go up and up in the ladder, choose your company wisely. Okay, whom to associate with, whom you are not supposed to. Sometimes, Kali is going to sit in the company of Vaishnavas and try to pollute our consciousness. So those noble thoughts, wherever that is brewing, just stay glued there. That's the point.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Dear devotees, if you have any questions or realizations, please go ahead. I don't see any questions. If there are no more questions, we can end the call, Prabhu, with your permission.
Yes, sure.
Okay, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, once again for the enlightening class. We're looking forward to your association again in the near future. Dear devotees, let us pay obeisances to Prabhuji. Vancha kalpatahubhesha kripa
कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः
अनंत कोटि वैष्णवृंद की
Vaishnav
जय
प्रभुपाद की
Jai.
ग्रेस रामगिरधारी प्रभु की जय।
Jai.
Thank you
Hare
for
Krishna.
listening.
Thank you,
Koti
Prabhuji.
Pranam. Jai
Hare
Shri
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.